You are now listening to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to NXT with Najee. This is episode 2, the January 9th edition of NXT. It was a very interesting night, to say the least. The process of getting there was crazy because Florida was underneath a tornado warning. And while we were on the bus to get to NXT, we had a full-on tornado extreme warning hit everybody's phones in the bus. So that was nuts. But we made it inside the building. Performance Center was probably the safest place we could be at. So that was nice. But like they say, the show must go on. But for this week's show, I got a good friend of mine as a special guest. I like for everybody to say what's up to my boy, Ryan. Ryan, what's good, brother? Coming in from Baltimore.
What is good, bro? Definitely glad to be here. Thank you for having me first and foremost. Like you said, I'm up here in Baltimore, part of the group that we like to call the Renegades.
Yes, sir.
Started back down there in Orlando. Originally went to an NXT show, literally like by myself, met one person, Jordan. And then from that week, it just kind of started growing. And then before we knew it, we had a group chat with like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people.
Oh, yeah.
And we're a family now. So first and foremost, like I said, thank you for having me. And then obviously I miss you guys.
Yeah, man, we miss you too, brother, man. Yeah, he left us back in, I want to say November, took off on us, but we made sure we had some good times, some good memories before we dipped out.
Most definitely, most definitely. Like I told my dad, I was definitely glad that I got to have that experience. You know, I've been a wrestling fan pretty much since I came out the womb. Grew up watching it with my dad. So when I found out that there was a free show in Orlando that was literally in my backyard, I was like, I gotta pull up. And like I said, I went by myself just on a whim, ended up meeting Jordan, and then the next week it just started growing and growing from there. Like I said, we got a nice little group. Um, but yeah, man, like I said, I've been a long-term wrestling fan for my whole life. I kind of took a little bit of time off from not like really like watching as hardcore as I do now. Kind of just like kept up highlights on YouTube, started listening to podcasts and stuff like that. But when I started going to NXT, it definitely shifted my mind back to digging more into like the storylines and all this different stuff like that. So definitely a good experience. Glad I got to go through that with you guys for sure.
Heck yeah. He was actually a part of the Right to Censor group during Halloween Havoc. If you
Right to
remember
censor.
that episode,
Yeah, that was a good one, man. We had our little signs. We were standing up through the whole thing.
That was awesome. That was one of the best nights.
Down to the point where someone commented on the Facebook post, thought that we were like, thought that we were protesting the show.
Yeah, it was great. Mission accomplished.
It shows you who's a wrestling fan and who's not.
Yeah. All right. Heck yeah, man. But real quick before we get started on the show, I gotta say one thing that y'all should have seen come in a second. Y'all see me wearing this shirt. Shout out to Michigan football. We won a natty, baby. Michigan finally won the national championship. It feels good. I know I'm not supposed to be talking about that on here, but I just had to say something about it. You already know. Now we just gotta see if the Lions can pull it off, but we're gonna move on from that. Good luck, boys. Moving on. So tonight's first match has a lot of history in it. It's Nikita Lyons and Blair Davenport. And if you remember correctly, Blair Davenport is a person who took Nikita out due to like a backstage fight. So it's only appropriate that this fight starts off with them in, backstage. And then they make their way inside of the Performance Center. Put on a really, really good match. Nikita's mom and I believe maybe some of her siblings or relatives were in the house, which was really kind of cool to see. I only know that because of, the social media type stuff. She posts a lot about her mom. Really, really good match. I was very surprised to see Blair Davenport walk away as the winner, but they put a lot of emphasis on her knee, like Nikita's injured knee. There were a lot of really like scary spots to where it looked like it hurt a lot, and Blair took advantage of it and came away with the victory. So Ryan, what do you think about Blair taking that pinfall over newly returning Nikita Lyons?
Well, first I want to talk about Nikita returning. I've been a Nikita fan for a minute, ever since she kind of debuted. I kind of like that fire that she had. So I was definitely disappointed when she was gone for, I think they said that she was out for like a year almost with the knee injury. And so it was definitely good to see her back, competing in a ring for sure. As far as Blair getting the pin, I was definitely surprised by that. I figured with Nikita returning that they would want to try to put, a little bit of push behind her, get her some energy going. But for her to take that loss was definitely shocking for sure. I think it'll be a little bit more continuation. Maybe they'll go with something where maybe she came back too soon. Maybe her knee wasn't as healed as she thought it was, and that's why Blair was able to, take advantage of that and get that pinfall victory. In my personal opinion, Blair is not that exciting of a wrestler, so the match itself for me wasn't that exciting. Like I said, I was definitely surprised that she got the win. Interested to see what they do with Blair moving forward for sure.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Yo, whatever chat you got going on in the background, bro. That thing is going crazy.
I don't have another chat going on in the background, but I just keep seeing my phone light up, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's what it
I'm
is.
like, I don't
Yeah, that's
understand why
probably
my
what it is.
phone is lighting up.
Oh, that's all good. I'll cut that part out. Anyways, all right. So moving on, we got the second match, which is we got Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Gallus with Joe Coffey in a first round match for the 2024 Dusty Cup for the NXT Tag Team. A shout out to tag team champions. Technically, that's not even right, is it? It's just for the cup. Huh.
Yeah, I think it's just for the
Yeah,
cup.
just for the
There's
cup.
no
But
titles. I don't
I
think
feel
there's like
like
a title
shouldn't
shot.
you get like a title shot?
You would think.
It only feels right, right?
You would think.
Right. But the coolest part about this for me being there last night, or well, 2 nights ago, I guess. Well, today's Wednesday when we're recording this, so it was last night. The Spear of Days seems to be the name that the crowd gave those boys. Spear of Days, and they loved it. Bro, when
Yeah,
I
see, I
say
like that name, bro. I couldn't get.
Bron,
Sometimes
Bron
when
was
I'm
turning.
watching it on TV, it's kind of hard to hear, what the different chants are.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's
Bron
what they.
was turning around like, oh yeah, like I like that. And so then they also started chanting, and I'm gonna bleep this word out, but y'all can guess what I'm saying. They're saying that the chant was there are assholes because they both play that character so
Mhm.
well. And to have them on a team, Baron was eating that up. Baron was like, yeah, 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 we are. So it was awesome to see them come away with. I feel like everybody saw that victory coming, but they got a victory with the pinfall. But
Yeah,
we don't
for
got to
sure.
spend too much time on that
Yeah, no, we
one.
ain't got to spend too much time on that one. I agree. I think that one was, that was obvious from a mile away. They just formed that team, and I honestly, just on the team alone, I like that. Like you said, they're playing the part of those a holes. I won't say the word, but yeah, I definitely think that they'll go far. If anything, I could definitely see them being the winners, if not coming in, that second place spot for sure. But I think that it's a good look for both Baron and Braun because Braun I felt like didn't really have much to do in NXT after holding the title twice. I was looking for that call up, so this
Mhm.
gives him a little bit more to do while he's still down there in NXT. And then Baron being the main roster guy, he's doing his job by giving that person the rub. Obviously, they're going to be talking and learning stuff backstage, so I'm definitely excited to see where that goes moving forward. Baron's got a good finishing move. Braun's got an amazing spear.
Oh yeah.
All them the spear days. I'm not mad at it.
I hope they find some weird way to make it one move. Like we were
Right,
trying to
right.
figure it
I
out last
feel
night. I don't know
like
if it's physically possible, but it'd be fun if they could. It'd be fun.
yeah, I don't know how they would pull
Yeah.
that off. That would definitely be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, like I said, I'm not mad at the team name. Definitely not mad at the team
Yeah.
name.
So I skipped over a part here. We had Carmelo actually talking to Trick backstage. I will save our in-depth talk about that one for a little bit
Deep
later.
dive.
We'll try to keep that short so we don't go too crazy.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
Carmelo tells Trick that he wants him to be successful. And so what he does is that he enters them into the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So now Trick Mellow Gang has officially been entered into the Dusty Cup. And then after that, after the Braun Breaker match, we had Lyra come out and announce there's going to be a 20-woman battle royal. I'm not going to
Looking
sit
for
there. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that too. But Lola Vice was big salty about it, as she should be, because she's in a way number one contender for any women's title. Lyra calls her out and is basically trying to create some heat between her and Elektra. And then we got what's her name? Paxley coming out, doing
yeah,
some weird
Tatum.
stuff again. And I think
Tatum.
that tag team match is gonna come sooner than later. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that because it was kind of short and sweet. Like, oh
Mhm.
my God, you always
I
jump in me
agree.
here as my friend that I
Yeah,
don't
no, I
really
agree
like.
with that. I kind of felt like with the whole Lola Vice thing, with her like trying to add that fuel, I felt like the fuel was already there.
Mhm.
Because like you said, like Lola is kind of walking around with this attitude, like, yeah, I did it by myself. When we know that you really didn't do it by yourself, like we know you be cheating your way through matches and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And with Tatum, she's a little weird, but definitely, I mean, it's always good to see people getting TV time. Teaming up with the champ will definitely be a good look for her, hopefully. So yeah, that I definitely feel like that tag team match is coming sooner or later, and I'm
Yep.
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
It'll be fun because they had a lot of chemistry last night. If you like, I think they did like a double clothesline, and it was like
Mhm.
to a T. It was perfect timing. It was really good.
It
But
was. I
uh,
like seeing that when you've never seen people paired up before, but then
mhm.
you kind of already see there's some type of chemistry there. I like that.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the third match. It was kind of dropped on us during the middle of the show, so we're just gonna give you the verses, and we're just gonna give you the winner because there's not really too much story behind this other than Josh Briggs kind of doing his own solo thing and Oro
Mhm.
being a part of Metaphor. So that just chitter chatter happens. Then they fight each other. Briggs connects with a clothesline from hell. Briggs walks away the victor. So that's the simple bing bang boom for that one.
I
And
like
the
seeing Briggs use JBL's move though.
Oh yeah, it was real nice. That's a big boy. He's
Yeah, it's a big
definitely
boy. That's a good
that's
one for him to do and taking somebody's head off with that one.
yes, 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 yes. All right, so we get to finally see Tiffany as a ranch hand throughout the whole entire night. I don't really like talking about promos too much on here because they take up a lot of time for the show. So we're gonna kind of skip through that. Just know that there were bits and pieces of it that I will say were 1,000% worth it. Like
Yeah, definitely.
there were
That was
some
why,
times they're a little
just
corny,
as a
but
whole, seeing the different segments just wrapping up as a whole, definitely was funny to see the outfit that she had, her reactions to the work that she had to do.
oh
Um,
yeah.
my biggest thing, just on that whole topic, it was just nice to see Fallon finally get her comeuppance. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like Tiffany just like kept getting over on her, kept getting over on her, and it was like I finally got my get back, and I got you
Yes.
good.
Oh yeah, dude, that felt great. Just to see Tiffany in that little the little bath,
Mhm.
throwing a little temper tantrum. It was a little extra, but it was hilarious at the same time. Like I said, image
It,
I think that'll live
it,
rent
it
free
fits her character.
in my mind, and I'm probably gonna pull that image up in this video. So here it is. There. All right. Cool. So now we got the fourth match, the family, with Adriana Rizzo versus OTM with scripts for the tag team championships. OTM, it was very strange because like Bronco's energy was there, but the other dude, he wasn't like he had the same kind of energy for the crowd that he normally has. He just didn't look as angry. He just looked like it was just strictly business, which I can understand because it's a tag team title match. The tag team, like the champs, got whipped on the whole match, bro. Like beat up. And somehow, you got Angelo connecting with the forget about it. You ain't got to hear one of these one time for the family. Forget about it. To pick up the victory, and they retain. It is awesome to see OTM really getting that shine, like you mentioned earlier with the last match. But not with the last match, but with Fallon. Because we saw them doing a lot of level up shows, like a lot over the past six
There's a
months.
lot
So
of level up and a lot of just like promos of like we're coming, we're coming.
yeah, just a lot
All
of
right, you're
talk.
here now. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I think once they hit the main roster, it's gonna be a lot of fun to see them like get the same kind of push that the Creeds did. Because that's another 3-minute warning, in my opinion. Like
You think so?
that's what they remind me of. Like it's a perfect enforcer team. It's just you
Sure.
got to figure out a way to make I keep wanting to say Reggie, but it's Scripps. You gotta you gotta figure out how to make Scripps seem a little bit more powerful than what he is. And I think he
Yeah,
got it.
that's
And
been
I
my thing
think
too. It's like it's kind of hard, like with Lucian and Bronco, it's a little bit easier to like buy into that background story of like them coming from the streets. But it's like it's a little bit harder for me to buy it from scripts because one of how we were already introduced to you on the main roster. It's like you got introduced as a butler, bro.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You went from a butler to an acrobatist, and now you're this guy who apparently got it out the mud. So it's like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what what to believe. You know, it makes it kind of hard for me to buy into that when he's walking around with all these chains and stuff like that. As far as the family, I'm a huge family fan. When I was down there, you and I were the ones that be going crazy with the forget about it. You
Hey.
know what I'm saying? That was one of the matches when I was watching last night. I was I need to see my boy go crazy. And I
Oh
saw him
yeah.
the message and not pass the message along. We got a little tight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
y'all made it up, and we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah, you know how it was. Sometimes the energy be a little crazy. The tornado
it'd be
warning
a
kind of
little
threw us
crazy,
off
it'd be
at
a
the
little
beginning.
crazy. But that
But
was a
we
good
got a
match.
couple, we only got maybe like 5 to 10 minutes left, so we got to kind of fly through these next ones.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. So in between the fourth match and fifth match, Lexus King has an interaction with Obafemi. They kind of chitter chatter back and forth about their contracts. Obi winning the breakout, or Obo, my bad. I always want to call him Obi because he's that guy. Um, he won the breakout contract, the breakout tournament contract. Lexus King has his own contract for the North American contract that he wants to cash in tonight. So that ends up being the main event for tonight's show. Um, and then we move on to the fifth match, which is Core Jade versus Gigi. The energy was flat. I'm telling you, when both of them came out, like, yes, we booed Cora like crazy, but in my opinion, Cora is a super heel. Like, I think she is awesome at that. She's perfected it almost as good as Roman has. Like, she feeds off of it, bro. There was just
Mhm.
nothing was breaking her character last night. Um, but when they came out, bro, it's just dead, silent. There was really no energy in the match. It was more of just like watching to see who's gonna show us something different. And
Mhm.
like instead of like, oh, it's two great wrestlers going at each other, which like granted they are both good in their own ways, but it felt like everybody was just waiting to see who was gonna do something a little more than what we're used to for that
Right.
match.
No, I agree with that. I kind of felt the same way when I was watching that match. I was like, oh, another GG match,
Mm-hmm.
another core match, and
Yep.
obviously, like you said,
So
core in that superhero, she cheated to win. So
yep, and she got the win. So we'll move on from that one. And then in between this one, Miss Parker joins OTM, and I think that that's exactly what we were just talking about with that missing spark that's gonna make that a powerhouse group. Because I would love to see, like, I know she's not necessarily main roster ready yet, but if say Judgment Day were to pop back up on NXT, now you get a Judgment Day versus OTM, and it would be a lot of fun to watch.
I
Truthfully.
definitely agree. I
Uh,
definitely feel like certain groups, obviously, it's like nothing against scripts, but I definitely feel like adding that female dynamic to a group can
yep.
definitely do it good,
Mm-hmm.
depending on who it is. Um, I know just amongst our group, we have some Jada Parker fans, so
Oh
that I know
yeah.
that it's pretty cool to see her get some TV time.
You watched
Um,
the show last night. It's very apparent who in our group is a Jada Parker fan. I'm not
yeah,
gonna put
yeah,
names out there,
no
but
no names, but you know who
no
you are.
names, but you know who
You know
you
who you
are.
are. But
And I
I
hope
even
that you've
said it to my
recovered
dad.
well.
I even said it to my dad when I saw her come up on TV. I was like, "Oh, Miss Parker about to get some TV time." So
All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure.
All
Like I said,
right.
new talent.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Sixth match. We got Axiom and Nathan Frazier, aka FAF. You can figure out what that means on your own. I don't want to get in trouble for saying that on here, but I'm gonna call them FAF because they're fast. Very fast. Versus Hank and Tank in a first round match for the Dusty Cup. Our winners, surprisingly, I was rooting for Hank and Tank. I love my high flyers, don't get me wrong, but I just kind of want to see those boys, get theirs. But the winner was Axiom and Nathan Frazier via pinfall. And Phoenix Splash was the move to be, to end it. Give us the 1, 2, 3. That one was kind of short and sweet, classic tag team match. Nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. So short and sweet. So we'll move on to the final match of the night that had a great ending that none of us saw coming. We got Dragon Lee versus Lexus King for the NXT North American Championship. I'm gonna give a real quick story firsthand that happened to me as Dragon Lee was coming out last night. He had this dope shirt on. I've never seen him wear this shirt before. And I was like, yo, yelling at him. I was like, yo, that shirt is fire. Like Dragon Lee, that shirt is fire, bro. I kept saying it to him. And he kept acknowledging me, like, yo, sweet. Thank you, man. Da-da-da-da. I was like, where can I get that? And he didn't say nothing. So right before the match starts, he takes his shirt, throws it at me. One row too short. The girl
Oh
sit the girl
man,
sitting in front of me, it lands on her lap. Before she can look to grab it, this old dude yanks it out of her lap and is like happy that he has it. And the girl turned around and was like, I'm sorry, I know you wanted that. I'd have gave it to you. And I swear this dude gave me like the creepy barbershop smile from Courage the Cowardly Dog and just stared at me. Like, and I was just like, bro, you know you're wrong for that. But
hey
anyways.
bro, don't make me push you in this
Yeah,
ring,
I
bro.
was like, but anyways, yeah, dude was like 80, bro. It's fine. Like I wasn't gonna sit there and hound him,
It wasn't
but I'm not gonna lie, I was butthurt. I was very butthurt about it.
that.
But moving on, this match was crazy chop heavy. It was the battle of chops, even though I felt like That was not what I expected. These boys smacked the hell out of each other for 90% of this match. But Lexus King still continues to impress me. I really, really like him a lot. We are running out of time. I really, really do like him a lot. I hope he gets his chance to come up. Dragon Lee actually gets the victory. And just as we think everything is what it is, he retains his title. Oba's music drops, and Oba cashes in his title right then and there, or his breakout tournament contract right then and there for the North American title, and gives one of the strongest power bombs I think I've seen since Batista did it to Rey Mysterio, and gets a 1-2-3 and becomes the North American champion to end the show.
That was shocking to me. When his music hit, my eyes got big. I'm a big Oba fan. So when he came out, I wasn't expecting him to get the win, but I'm definitely glad that he did. I feel like they're gonna strap a rocket to this man and have
To
him
the moon.
for sure. And as far as Dragon Lee, I mean, he's just a talented guy. But I think that he served his purpose. He came back to NXT. He got the NXT North American Championship, but he's already technically on the main roster. So I didn't really see him holding that title too long anyway. So I'm glad that Oba was the one that was able to cash in and get that victory.
Yeah, me too, brother. Me too. So that was the show for this week. I hope everybody enjoyed our little recap. I hope everybody's been enjoying Ryan's presence. We definitely miss his presence at every NXT. Before we go, I have 2 questions for you. We're gonna try to see if we can knock these out in 2 minutes. So it's like a 2-minute drill for 2 questions, a minute a question. First question is, who will be your breakout male and female wrestlers of 2024 on the NXT roster?
I would say for the men, I probably have 2 options. Probably Oba, especially with him just winning that title. Like I said, I think I see him going really far. My other person would probably be I could see when West returns, I want to see West do more. I really want to see him as the NXT champion. So I would say for the men, Oba and West, and then for women, I would probably say Cora just because she's like really good at her heel persona. So I would want to see them do more with her, possibly strap her up as well. And yeah, that's who I would say for breakout.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Wes is my guy, man. So I'm right there with you, bro. That's who I want to see come back and win it all.
Sure.
So final question before I say goodbye to everybody and let you go back to your evening. If Melo didn't do it, who did?
Man, that's a tough one because where they got it now, it's kind of written all over the walls, man.
Uh-huh.
If Melo didn't do it, the only other person that I could really see doing it is honestly, I could see it being Lexus just because he's trying to make a name for himself. But I think that if it was Lexus, they're doing what they're doing with Melo to throw us off the tail so that it can be more of a swerve.
So do you think that even though they already technically had that match and had that part of the story end, you think he could still be him?
I think that it could be one of those things where, because like he said at the end of the match, I mean, you got to think about what Lexus said. He grabbed the mic and was basically it was like thanking Melo for the main event spot. It's like, okay, what if they did some stuff behind the scenes? We've seen Melo on the phone, we've seen him being very suspicious. So it's like, how do we know it's not one of those things where him and Lexus were like, okay, you're gonna attack him or I'm gonna attack him and we'll make it look like it was you or make it look like it was me and just throw people all over the place when it could have really been both of them, because like the thing that sticks out to me before we go is that they keep mentioning that no one saw who did the attack. Melo didn't see who attacked him, Trick didn't see who attacked him. So it's like, Melo, how did we know that you really got attacked in the first place?
Yeah.
You didn't see it. We have video of Melo or Trick being assaulted, the aftermath of him laying down, stuff like that, but we've never seen anything of Melo injured.
True. That is
So
true.
like,
That is true.
It could be a swerve, bro. Like they say, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled, making people think he didn't exist.
Hey, there you go, brother. Well, hey, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been NXT with Najee, a not a TV, a podcast with the Whip Show podcast. If you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at NXT with Najee. Also at the Whip Show Podcast. If you want my Twitch and my YouTube, it's Whoa What CG, and my X's it's NAAA. Oh my goodness! You know what? We're not even gonna put the X thing in here. We're gonna skip that for right now. You'll see it on the page. It's in this one of these corners up here. But all right, one more time. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being here with me.
Thank
Enjoy
you
the
for
rest of
having
your
me.
night, my brother. Thank y'all
For
so much
sure.
again for listening. That's it for Najee. That's me. I'm out of here. Thank y'all. Yeah.